We dashed across the village to the elder's house, Narumi grabbing a weapon along the way. When we got there, we heard shouting and exchanged worried glances before pushing through the door.
Halt, villain!
Oh my.
Prepare your... Oh. Did we cross into a different dimension?
Stop it!
Never! I'm going to vanquish you.
The scene that lay before us was unlike anything I had ever seen. In one corner, Maika was cuddling a large, empty bottle, sleeping and giggling to herself. At the back of the room, the villager was eating a large casket with a lock on it, while grumbling to himself. In the center of the room, Machiko lay pinned to the floor by Miyo, who was tickling her mercilessly.
Narujin, help me with this. The chest is locked and all the sake is trapped inside and suffocating. We need to rescue it immediately.
Oh jeez. They're drunk. Takahiro-kun, can you stop those two?
This wasn't the battle I was expecting.
I nodded my head in confirmation to Narumi's request and turned towards the two girls on the floor, trying to decide how best to deal with them. With both of them drunk, it would probably have been easy enough to get Miyo to release Machiko. But before I had a chance to intervene, the two girls roughhousing on the floor caused them to bump into the table, knocking over a bottle of sake onto the both of them.
I'm all wet now. You spilled the sake. Wow, stupid!
The girl pushed herself upright, playing like a spoiled child before turning tail and running through the door.
Good grief. Who knows what she might do? Naru-chan, please go get her. In this state, she'd only make stupid advances at me.
Right.
As Narumi ran off to retrieve the drunken fox girl, I was left to take care of the remaining few.
Miya-san, you need to come with me. We need to get you into something clean.
You just want to see me naked.
What? No, I'm not a pervert. Why does everyone seem to think that? I mean, I do want to see boobs, but I have my honor, damn it!
Nope. I'm not going to do anything you tell me to. I'll stay right here and swim in steak.
I sighed and looked down at the woman, who was indeed trying to swim in the tiny puddle of sake on the floor. Taking a deep breath, I prepared myself.
Tsundere Chief, enemies have been sighted near the hot springs. Their numbers are about to overwhelm us. We need reinforcements right away.
I came up with the bluff on the spot, hoping it would get Miyo out of the room.
What? We had to vanquish them at once. Come on, Private Spirit, to the hot springs!
But aren't we supposed to defend?
Before I had time to finish my sentence, Miyo had me dragged to the entrance of the building by the collar of my robe.
No! Attack! Attack! Get to the hot springs and attack! I'll be there soon!
And with that, she shoved me through the door with a hefty kick, the door slamming shut behind me. My hearing wasn't perfect, but I could sworn I heard a yelp and a tumble following Miyo's departure. A large open area lay ahead of me, closed off by a tall bamboo fence. There was also a small area off to the side for more delicate washing. Sighing to myself, I began to tidy up the place a little, removing sharp objects and small obstacles that the drunken woman might injure herself with, and waited. 5 minutes went by before I heard the door open and close, followed by the gentle slosh of someone stepping into the water of the hot spring.
The water's great. Hurry up and get in.
Whatever happened to attack?
I turned around, expecting her to be standing in the water with her clothes on. However, the sight that awaited me was far from what I would have expected from the tsundere tyrant. There was no katana slicing through the air, or any harsh words being shouted. Instead, an attractive-looking girl wearing a simple towel had decided to take a seat in the hot water.
Miyo-san?
Whether it was the result of the drinking or not, the warm smile she showed me caused me to pause.
Care to join me?
I don't think...
Get in the water.
Yes, ma'am.
I quickly moved closer to the water, nearly slipping on the wet tiles before I made my way in. I folded up my robe, but kept the towel I had found around my waist.
Today's been pretty busy, huh? Though the last thing I expected was for all of you to gulp down sake like a baby drinks its milk.
The girl said nothing for a while, regarding me with the faint grin on her face. It made me nervous. I would almost rather have her shouting and angry.
You don't slack off, do you? I can tell that you train a lot.
Huh?
Briefly caught off guard by her comment, I quickly gathered my thoughts and nodded in return.
Well, I practice judo, so it's natural for me to train my body a lot. I'm sure the same can be said of you, Miyo-san. I mean, you look, rather feminine, but I could tell you knew how to handle a sword. That shows diligence and talent, but above all, experience. You started young, didn't you?
I did.
She leaned back against the rocks and let out a sigh.
It took me a long time to become competent with the blade. Days and nights of endless training, regardless of wind and weather, all in order to toughen myself up, to make myself strong enough. It is horrible, knowing nothing of your early life. I just turned up here in rags. The gods found me out in the woods one day while on patrol, starving and dirty. The previous villager elder took pity on me and took me in. Everything went well for a while. Narumi's family took me in, treated me like one of their own. Then, everything fell apart. Seeing the village that had taken me in, fed me, clothed me, given me shelter, suffering at the hands of spirits. I couldn't take it.
As she spoke, she let out another sigh. It seemed the alcohol was making her a bit more talkative than usual, which wasn't a bad thing. I just hoped I wouldn't end up paying for it once she had sobered up.
After that, I felt like I had to do something. I couldn't just sit by while everything fell apart around me. The village was devastated by the fires. On that day, I pleaded with the former chief of the guard to train me, to make me stronger. I wanted to protect the village, to protect Narumi, at any cost. He eventually agreed, but told me that I would need to strengthen my resolve first.
And that's why you became
You can say it.
a tsundere tyrant?
I don't know what tsundere means, but the tyrant part isn't far off. I didn't want to drive everyone away, least of all Narumi. But I had to, in order not to feel the pain of loss again. Spirits haven't been our only problem. Bandits, beasts, and the weather. The village needed protecting from all of it. It became a purpose, and it made me distance myself from everyone else.
I guess that explains why you've been acting like that around Machika and Maiko.
That's right. Although, I am beginning to think that perhaps we can coexist. The fox spirits, at least. I suppose this has something to do with you. So, thank you.
You're welcome. It's not like I did much.
I mean it. Truly. You and the sisters. You may have saved me a life of living in fear. Perhaps even prevented my death.
I think you better tell them that. You're right, especially considering what comes next.
Huh? What do you mean?
The girl's words were becoming incoherent, muttering something about spirits and the village. It seemed like fatigue was finally taking its toll.
Well, the other spirits probably won't be leaving the village alone anytime soon. We're going to have to figure out how to stop them. But asking Maiko-chan and Machika-san to help us is like asking you to turn on Narumi-chan.
Turn on!
The girl giggled at this for quite some time, so I let out a sigh and coughed politely.
What I meant was, they'll have to fight against their own kind at some point. I mean, why would they want to help you guys out in the first place? I think you and Narumi-chan will be the pieces we need to solve this puzzle. And we better figure out what to do soon. I doubt the spirits will hold back next time.
You sound like it's some kind of game. That's not nice.
As he said this, the girl slid further down into the water.
It's a bit easier to think of it like that. The moment they get ahead of us, it's game over. If you and Narumi-chan fix things between the villagers and the sisters, things might work out. You'll have to get to as close to them as possible.
Ah? But I don't like girls like that.
The girl became incredibly flustered by my comment, having misunderstood what I had said. Before I could explain, she slumped over, her cheeks a deep crimson red. As I tried to move closer, it became clear that she had passed out. The heat had probably gotten to her.
Just my luck. She had to pass out, wearing nothing but a towel. I swear, someone up there is testing my patience with all these temptations.
Sighing in annoyance, I carefully wrapped my arms around the girl and pulled her out of the water. Realizing that leaving Miyo here would be a bad idea, I thought about what to do when Narumi came barging in.
Takahiro-kun, I heard you were in here. I managed to— Whoa! What's going on here?
It's not what you think. The great captain couldn't handle the heat. Could you take over here?
Sir, that's what happened. I believe you, Ustad. Come on, I'll take her. I'll make sure she gets a good night's rest. But if you did do stuff to her while she was drunk, she's going to kick your ass.
I shall refrain from provoking her wrath. The last thing I need is a hungover samurai trying to turn me into shish kebab.
I motioned for Narumi to come over.
You should get some rest too, Takahiro-kun. And make sure you keep an eye on Chichan. She's a little restless right now.
Leave her to me. She'll be in good hands.
And with those words, I left Narumi to take care of the passed out captain. I quickly changed into the robes I had borrowed and made my way back to the main hall. As expected, I found Machiko curled up on the floor. Thankfully, it looked like she had made her way to Maiko and was cuddled up next to her. The two girls looked adorable, and their cute mumblings only made it all the more enjoyable to watch. I considered waking them up so we could return to the mansion, but the sound of my name interrupted my train of thoughts. Walking out into the garden beyond the room, onto the wooden deck, I found the villager there sitting on the grass, looking up at the stars.
Young man, are the stars here as beautiful in your world?
I walked over to him and lay down flat against the grass, finally allowing myself a rest. I looked up at the night sky and smiled.
You know, I never really got a good look at them. I'm always busy with this or that.
I yawned loudly and felt my eyelids getting heavy as I wiggled around a bit in an effort to get comfortable.
Perhaps you should, if you get back, that is. The previous elder once told me that all worlds shared the same sky. It sounded silly to me, but maybe there's something to it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it does look similar. Sparkly and black. Maybe he was right.
The elder remained silent for a while. When he spoke again, I could barely make out what he said, sleepiness taking over. Before long, I drifted off to sleep beneath that starry sky.